Hello folks, Wolfle Ninja here bringing you another nerdy video. One thing I forgot to do was, I'm going to do it real quick right now. So I'm a little bit flabbergasted because I had a really good day today with Adventurers League. I did 3 good things are happening today. One was Adventurers League. Very good. Next was I got Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. And next is I'm going to play State of Decay 2. And I have my headset, I have my gear, so I can live broadcast that for you. Now that it's live. Now sadly I didn't have it pre-installed, so it is currently installed. And it's just ready to start. But before I get into that, hold on, I need to change the name of this broadcast. But my laptop is still a bit dodgy. I should have hacked my mouse, but I didn't. So there you go. I got it to the title. Let's change that to Adventurers League Stories. Tales, trees, tell. That's the name of the adventure, folks, that I ran through today. Oh my god, please scroll down so I can update the title. There we go. Nope, close enough. I can change the category now. Alright, I'll change the category now. Oh my god, my laptop, folks, is so annoying. No, I was just about to click Dungeons and Dragons. There you go. Got it. Alright, now I just need to click update. Bloody hell. Again, this is why I prefer the other system method. Oh my god, how? According to this, I can't scroll down anymore. Guys, I can't scroll down anymore. Wait, there you go. There's the section I can scroll down. Oh, thank God. There you go. Update information. Like it was so bloody annoying, folks. That was. I clicked update information twice now, so hopefully that will fix the issue. Also, you'll notice that I'm on camera today. That's because my laptop has a camera, and secondly is I do not have my helmet with my helmet with me. This is my character sheet. It's also my sheet for playing games like Warhammer 40k. It has my army list. Get my dinner out of there. But yeah, here we go, folks. Here is Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. As you can see, it is only the standard edition. Folks, I will go over that in detail, especially with the expanded races, but it has to wait a little bit, just because I want to fully read it first, and I want to make sure I don't get too distracted by it. So I will go over it. You just have to wait. So I'm just going to put that back there because it does not pertain to my situation. Here we go, my notes. Okay, now first off, the adventure was called Tale Trees Tell. Now in my party, I had quite an interesting party today. Mostly neutral. We had one good person, neutral good. So I focused on that a bit, having a lot of this. So I may belch on occasion. Oh, there we go. Club Orange. Well, Club Zero. It's Rock Shande. Okay. Okay, first there was my character Mortos, a tiefling wizard, level 3 necromancer. I'm still level 3, I believe. I think it's 2,700 to reach level 4. So, but okay. We have Travak Dakil, a Hill Dwarf Cleric, level 3. He did not put down his domain. We have Crix Lizard Folk Druid at level 2. Now, given his transformations, I'm assuming he was Circle of the Moon. We have Richard Jurhard the Fifth, a level 1 fighter. We had Edwin Schneid, Schneid, level 1 Half Elf Bard. We had Gargo Bogwood, a level 1 Halfling Rogue. We had Mark, aka Mag, Darkbringer, level 3 Bard Half Elf. So mostly Half Elves. Now, some of these guys were very new to Adventurers League, some of them weren't. But okay. Now, we were all actually hired by the Druid, Crix. We were all hired by him. Because the Emerald Enclave contacted him because he's a member of them. And he was the nearest, I guess he was the nearest member that had some free time. So he was tasked to go to the town of, let's see, we went to, Cabal Hill again. It's really noisy. There's like 30 guys or 30 people minimum in the room where we play, and it was really noisy. There was people like literally less than 5 feet behind me talking, and so again, forgive me if my notes are wrong. So if those of you that actually have the adventure, you will know what I'm talking about. Some of you that don't, I'm afraid, but I might be butchering some of my notes, maybe not 100% accurate. But we were tasked to go there because apparently there's a really important pact of the Dark Fae that live in that forest, and the Fan, which was the city that's nearby. Basically, the deal was you do not touch that forest. You don't lumber it. You don't, you don't do anything to it. You don't move into it. You don't cut the wood. You don't hunt in it. You don't do anything. You don't even go into that forest. And the Dark Fae will leave you alone. Well, apparently, the pact was under threat. People have gone missing for over 20 days now. So they sent Crix to make sure that the pact was still up. Everything was good because the pact was if the pact is maintained, if Flan gets attacked, the Fae will help. So basically, Crix came to the TRs. Was like, "Hey guys, I need help with this task. Who's with me?" And the adventurers that were in there were we were just like, yeah. So we're off. We went. We got to the tavern. It was very interesting. The place was poor as hell. The whole village was. Their inn was haphazardly labeled an inn, and there was if they called it themselves the Leaking Bucket Inn, and they literally had a leaking bucket. It was a little bit raining, but it was still nice enough. We enter. Everyone stares at us. People murmur and all that. We start talking to Halfling. He was a very meek Halfling. He's not very sociable, unlike his wife. His wife was very sociable. But in the end, she talked to us. Now, I noticed that some people were giving our Halfling allies some looks. My character, being a Tiefling, recognized those looks as one of distrust and general racism. So I grabbed one of the townspeople. I cast a first level spell called Cause Fear to give the person a sense of mortality. This guy believed that he was going to die, so he just bolted. Basically, before I cast Fear, I was like, "You're going to show these guys the same amount of respect as you would show anyone," and then I cast the spell. So my character was reacting very extreme because again, he himself is used to this. He does not like it, but he tries to stop it when he sees it. So, but it was hilarious. Then we hear a scream. I'm immediately sending my familiar up onto the ceiling, and it's crawling out the door so I can see what's going on. Two of our members see what happens, and I was like, okay. The end says, you all see what happens. I'm like, okay. it goes back into his pocket dimension. I'm at the door. Meanwhile, hold on, let me get the. Meanwhile, our two bards and our fighter are basically helping. Only 3 of us went out. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 of us in the party. 3 of us stayed back. Sorry, only 3 of us went out. The rest stayed back to help this woman who ran in screaming. So like, we found apparently the hermit. Sorry, I'll move back a bit. Apparently the hermit, who lives close to the forest, went into the forest. No, he comes and goes every now and then, and it's very routine. And some of the townspeople were getting worried because they haven't seen him for a while, so they went off to look for him. That was around 20 or so days ago, about a month ago maybe at most. So they go to look for him. They find nothing but maps. His hut is empty, so they send an adventuring party of 6. They sent them in, and they haven't heard anything from them. It's been 20 days. No one's supposed to go fucking into the forest. So, yeah, we're like, ooh, wow, something's gone wrong. We run. Apparently, one of the adventurers, Rakato or something like that. We never even talked to him. He has been nailed to one of the posts. He's bleeding from his eyes. Now, again, if you can see the pole, the pin that's sticking into the pole there, but like it's just like he's completely impaled. Our cleric casts Cure Wounds without taking the thing out. So the thing is still in him. He goes, so we're like, oh fuck, you forgot to pull the pin out. So we pull it out. It's made of bone and has like an onyx like gemstone in the top of it. I'm like, mine. But then we also realize his eyes have been taken out and replaced with onyx. It turns out that a woman comes up and says, "This is the sign of the hag." The hag's name was Ginny Greenteeth. So yeah. So that was the hag, and that was apparently her sign where she would take your eyes and leave you with thing. And now again, they gave the first group of adventurers, letters to show that they come in peace. They are looking for someone who came in here, and then they're just going to leave. That's all they want to do. All 6 of the notes, apparently they gave them 6 in case they got separated, but they gave all 6. All 6 were nailed as well. So we're like, so they're like, oh my god, is the pack broken? Like, what's going on? So we're like, we're examining it. Like, we're like, oh wow, this must be going on. Like, so, but at the same time, the party's like, for the longest time, most of us are like, are we sure he really like? All of us except actually everyone in the party, they didn't even have to really push us to go into the forest, because all of us were like, okay, it's been 20 days, surely they're either all dead and this is a warning, or well, that's about it. So we're like, if we go in, we can make it worse. Because for all we know, the pact still stands. So the only person we will investigate a farm that's apparently been attacked, and the drunk farmer says it was caused by fairies. But we're like, but our bard is like, let's go, and Richard's like, to the stakes, and the bard is there playing his drums, bum 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 bum. So we head off to the farm. We're like, okay, we'll investigate a little bit. We're not going to go into the forest, but we'll investigate and we'll rest. So we go to the farm. We see that it's been crudely chopped up after it was killed, and it has like this weird puncture neck. Sorry, multiple puncture wounds which are semi-swollen. We're like, this wasn't the work of fairies. Which my character got into an argument with the drunk. Everyone's like, "Come on, dude, that's just you're arguing with a drunk. Let's move on." I'm like, "Okay." So we start following the tracks. It leads us to the hermit's house. So from the now, we're all being really careful because again, we have a lot of level ones, and we're like only three of us were of any match for anyone. So we're taking things really slow. So my spider, because we are, well, is it still raining? Is it clear out enough for my spider to move around in? It was like, yep. I was like, okay, guys. I'm gonna send my spider out ahead of us 100 feet, and we'll have him scare it out. So we're all in agreement. So my spider's doing his thing. I'm like, okay, guys, I see a barn. I'm saying this out of character. I'm like, there's a barn. Which way do you think I should go? I'm thinking the barn because things can hide there. So the rest of the party says, yeah, the barn. So Spider goes into the barn. It sees an imp with a big belly and a sack of meat. So like, okay, guys, I want to interrogate this fucker. I'm a tiefling, and again, I roll for my backstory. I wrote out my backstory, and my character is. It's an A4 page of a backstory. My character is the son of Mephistopheles. So I'm like, I'm gonna try and scare this fucker, but we need to catch him. So we're like, okay, we're all rolls our stealth checks. We're sneaking, and we jump him. Now, one of the half elf bards immediately is choking him, and I'm just there speaking infernal, going, I am the son of Mephistopheles. You will tell me everything I want to know. I'm trying to put as much fear into this guy as possible, without using the spell slot. I'm like, loosen up the grip a little bit because he couldn't speak as he was being choked, and he's like, I rolled my thing, not 20, which is considering because folks, I'm just gonna tell you right now, the majority of my rolls tonight were under 10. Stealth, Arcana, Investigation, Persuasion, all of it was under 10. Several nat ones, but majority under 10. And I'm talking, I even have ability scores that give me +5, but the only milestone scores I can be were 10. That was it. The highest I scored tonight was 1 nat 20, and then a 13. That was it. It was not looking good for me. Not looking good at all. But anyway, but this was the nat 20. So the imp was scared shitless. Oh, he was like, oh my god, I'll tell you what you want. I'll tell you what you want to know. Just let me live. So, we asked him multiple questions. It took us about 10, maybe 20 minutes to get through some of the questions. I'm like, guys, what do we want to ask him? In the end, we found out that he wasn't a familiar. The hermit was just a hermit. No magic or anything. And basically, he had an arrangement with the hermit. The hermit looked after him, and he helped out the hermit sometimes. But lately, the hermit has been going into the forest, and he's been telling the hermit not to go into the forest. It's a horrible idea, but apparently he did so a month ago. So the hermit has been in the forest for over a month. Sorry, for about a month. And then 10 days later, they send in adventurers after him. So the imp has been scavenging for food. That's why he killed the prize cow. So we're like, okay, guys, let's go back to the inn. We'll rest up because I need my spell slot. We want to go in there, fully stocked. So we go in. Our fighter goes off and buys healing kit. He spends all his gold getting the healing kit. Luckily, I tried looking for a herbalist or trying to find herbs that will help me with my find familiar spell. Now look, I try and find some a pearl, maybe a place that'll sell a pearl, so I could use identify. No, I'm like, wow, um, okay, I guess. So yeah, we all rest up. We're immediately heading out to a half elf ranger who actually acts as a bit of an emissary between the elves and the village, but only very rarely. He denied being the guide to the other adventuring party, and because again, he just doesn't want to go in there. He believes it's truly, truly horrible. His name was Greenleaf. Yep, there we go. His name was Greenleaf. So he's very reluctant at first. We find him tending to his garden, and we finally convinced him to like, hey man, we're trying to help out. We don't know if the pack is fully broken. Is it not better to go in and ask them like on a peace mission? Especially if you're with us, you talk to them. If we can go in there and find out whether or not the pact is still up, then we'll we'll have a chance of finding out that it's still up and running, and that what may have happened to them, and then we'll just simply leave. We don't want to get trouble. We want to keep the pact. So upon after he finally agrees, we're attacked by a bunch of needle blights. Yeah, needle blights. I think they're similar to twig blights, but a bit beefier. So we're surrounded by them and we're being attacked. I'm like, oh god, oh god, oh god, mage armor, boom. First spell off the top straight away, and then the combat goes on. We discover quickly that the scare we take care of the needle blights very quickly, and me using Toll the Dead and the rest of the guys just thing. But when it came to the Scarecrow, we quickly learned that the Scarecrow was resistant to all non-magical weapon or magical based attacks. So we're all like, oh, down. I'm like, Toll the Dead. At one point, I rolled low for Toll of the Dead, but then I rolled high, 11 damage, which would have killed it, but the DM saved. So the kill went to our he was a bard. Yeah, I went to Mark. I was a little bit annoyed, but I was like, oh well. But again, the thing is though, we convinced we convinced the ranger to take us to him, take us inside. So again, we're marching through the forest, which no one's supposed to enter, and I summoned my spider and sent him off ahead. At which point, pixies started annoying us. Well, annoying my character. Everyone else found them quite enjoyable. They started to, putting flowers hanging from my horns. They tied the shoelace of one of my party members. It was a rogue. No, it was not a rogue. It was it was Mark again. So Mark's lace was getting tied. So we're like, oh my god, it takes us 2 days to travel. At which point the pixie even messed with me even further by making me float while I was asleep. It takes us 2 days to get to the Elven city, but just before we got there, we found a body. It was an adventurer his back was riddled with arrows. He had only his short bow and short sword. I picked up his short sword, which I plan to give to somebody at some point. But yeah, so we were like, oh shit. It looks like he was running away back down the road when he got riddled with arrows. So maybe they upset the elves up ahead. So let's keep approaching. Once I'm able to see through my familiar the village, I'm like, okay, Pocket Dimension Spider, we're trying to keep the pact, so let's try and be as nice as possible. So we get there, everything seemingly goes well until I take out the pin that had the adventurer stuck up against the pole. I only wanted to talk to him about it. I want to ask him questions about it. But they freaked the hell out. They're all immediately aiming at their arrows at us. And we're like, backing off. Hey guys, everything's cool. We're backing off. So the elves were a bit down. The only thing we did manage to discover, thanks to our half elves, was that the adventurers came, they upset the elves, and then they ran. And the elves killed one of them. One of them. Which means the others are either still in the forest or they're dead. So we're like, oh god, did the hag get them? So we went back to the body, at which point the elves stopped following us. Apparently they were following us for a while. So we find our tracks and we're heading off. I'm like, okay guys. At this point we're like, okay, just in case we come across the hag, don't use your familiar to scout. Like, you know, we all say, we need all our senses about us rather than the head. So I'm like, okay, yeah guys, let's... I have my wand ready. I'm ready in action to cast Mage Armor at the first sign of trouble. Because again, it's been 2 days, so I had all my spell slots back. So I'm trying to take full advantage of it. So we get forward, and we see the cottage. It's a nice little cottage. It's just nice alone. We're like, okay. We hide, and I send my familiar to the cottage. It was the hag's cottage. Basically, there was a single cage with 2 of the adventurers in it. We don't see where the others are. There's supposed to be 4 of them. There's only 2 in the cage. And there's a stew brewing. So like, oh fuck. So I send my familiar to look for a hole to look in through. Get into the house. We see the elderly woman. We're like, okay guys, our job here is to get the guys and leave. Let's just leave. This is a dark fae. It's a hag. It's most likely eaten, and it's probably going to try and eat us. It already tried to kill us. So we're just going to get out of here. Our rogue goes over. He's successfully picking the lock. He's halfway through the lock when the hag comes out. And it's like, oh, welcome, dearie. At which point, we're just like, Raven, I'm just a Raven Fieldment, our fireside crossbow. Raven Fieldment, boom, hits her. I got 2 nat 20, sorry. One was interrogating the imp, and this was the second one with Raven Feeblement. Raven Feeblement does no damage. All it does is it makes it so that the creature hit can only deal, its weapon attacks can only deal half damage. So we're like, crap. I'm like, I've been saying it for a while, like, guys, we really don't need Raven Feeblement on the hag because it's a cat. The hag is going to be a cat, so it's going to be using magic. It's not going to be using melt weapon attacks. But our fire's like, no. I'm going to be up in its face. So like, he's like, I'm like, oh, okay. Because again, like I was thinking, like he was like, you're not going to go in melee. But I'm like, yeah, I know I'm not going to go in melee, but I could throw it, teleport it back, throw the sword again, teleport it back. Throw it, teleport back, and rinse and repeat. Because I have Shadow Blade. It's a 2nd level spell, and it deals 2d8. I'm like, that's really good, and I can keep, basically touring and the thing. In the end, they're like, no, just use Raven Feeblement. Prepare Raven Feeblement. I'm like, fine. Now, luckily enough, we're all jumping in now at this point. We all go before the hag. Luckily enough, so. Our melee fighters are charging in. They're all getting ready. We have our bard uses Tashishi's hideous laughter. Doesn't work. Our next bard is like, I use cloud of daggers. So like straight away, daggers are flying all over the hag. Our druid is just entangle to hold the hag in the cloud. Our fighter is running up, so because he has a reach weapon, so he's going to be like stab, 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 while outside of its reach, while in its range, because he's angled it so that the cloud daggers won't hit him. Our rogue was actually running away, with escorting the people out there. Now it comes to my turn. I'm like, okay, yes, I can cast Magic Missile. I'm having really bad rolls, but I can cast Magic Missile at second level and deal a guaranteed 8 damage, and then we'll see about getting higher, That's when our fighter picks up again. He's like, no. Use Ray of Stigmas at level 2, because again, your 3d8s have a much higher maximum damage than your Magic Missile. I'm like, yeah, but the minimum damage. And he's like, no, go on, do it. I'm like, fine. Ray of Sickness. I miss. And I rolled the damage die with it. Ray of Sickness is 2d8 damage, but then it becomes 1d8 when you cast a second a level higher than first. It was 7-7-8, folks. 7-7-8, nearly maximum damage. We're talking over 20 damage. I'm like, boom. But no, I'm like, why? This is why I wanted to use Magic Missile, because I don't have to roll for it except for the damage. In the end, that's what I did. In the end, I'm like, fuck it. Magic Missile. Because I used up all my second level spell slots, so I'm just like dealing, 3d4s. I'm like, I want to kill this thing. Oh, but in the end, we end up curb stomping it. We're blowing through its health because it is entangled, and our allies are it's restrained, so we have advantage against it when we attack it. Our cleric is constantly using guiding bolt on it, so that gives us that makes it glow. He used that, which makes it easier to hit. Your next attack has advantage on it. Then our other bar is like, you know what? Fairy Fire, just in case it gets out of his entanglement. So we're like stacking the advantages on it. So our fire is just their swing advantage. And then I think our rogue at that point was like, he was just, I think he was using his short bow. So like he's just there, like then our other bard is there doing damage dealing spells. So we're all just loading our magic and we're like, die. Again, picture like Dragon Ball Z when Frieza transformed. Or again, like, I remember mostly because I watched The Bridge recently, and like Vegeta's like, Vegeta's was like, you know what? Smoke this bitch, and then they're all just unloading their ki blasts onto it, and there's just a cloud. I'm picturing that right now, as I'm just like, keep firing. I used up all my spell slots on it. Like, it was unreal, folks. But we finally killed it. We saved the people. We've looted a cloak of elven kind, and I've gotten a new spell scroll. Chromatic Orb. You know what the funny thing is? It was a mistake. We've broken the pact. We got 100 gold. We got about 600. We got 600 XP. But yeah, we all got 1 renown with our factions if we had a faction. But we've broken the pact. It turns out the hag was open to discussion. We just completely jumped the gun, folks. Like, me and the fire were just like, again, when we saw the hag see our rogue attempting to free the adventurers, we jumped the gun and we're like, oh fuck, attack! But now again, it turns out she the reason why that we didn't come across the hermit was because she's already killed the hermit, and then the other adventurers that were came in before us, they're in the fucking stew. So yeah, we're just like a lot of us were felt justified. We're like, okay, clearly she was a dark creature. Like, she was like she didn't just kill them; she was eating them. So we're like, ugh. But yeah, we're like, oh fuck. We broke the pact. We saved the people, but we broke the pact. Which was apparently the hermit's goal. Like, oh. Like, it was just hilarious. She was the original pact maker with the village and Flam. None of us knew that. I recalled a history check, but all I could glean was, again, she was known in the forest. That was it. As a hag. That was it. So we're just like, oh god, no. No. So in a way, we both completed our mission and failed it. Because again, from our point, our characters don't exactly know. Us as players, we know we fucked up. But apparently, several other tables made the same mistake. One of my friends' table, they straight up killed Hag. She didn't even let out a word. They were just like, "Yeah, we'll just attack." But yeah, folks, it was a great day. It was a fun session, and then the DM said to all of us as we were packing up, so far out of the tables that he's run for Adventurers League, we were the most role playing of the groups. And I was like, "Oh, really? Thank you." But yeah, it was a great compliment, and again, it was really fun, and wow, but it was really fun, folks, and it was just amazing. I really recommend Adventures League if you have one near you, or even just simply run the adventures yourself. You can find them on DM's Guild. They cost like €5 or $5 or whatever. They're very cheap, and it's a good 4 hour to 5 hour adventure. And again, you can run them all as sort of like episodic adventures. So, like, or you can run them as like all of them together as a campaign. So there's that, and it's just really fun. Um, but yeah, it was such a good day. It was such a good day. So fun. And again, I got Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Oh, it's such a good book. And it still has a new book smell. I fucking love new book smell. Oh, look, just, oh. Again, the only thing I find disappointing in this book is that there's not new spells, but the new races. Oh, I want to play a Githyanki. I want to play a Shadowkai. And I definitely want to play the other goddamn tieflings. Which I will get into, folks, when it's time. In the meantime, I'm going to play some State of Decay 2. I'm probably going to broadcast it. Probably just broadcast it. Or I may just play some personal time, get a sense of it, and then start a new game tomorrow when I'm fresh. Because again, I'm not feeling well. Actually, at the moment, I actually have an upset stomach. So, I'll see about if I'm feeling better about doing a video tomorrow. If I'm feeling better though tomorrow, I'll be doing my lure sport video. So there'll be definitely that to look forward to. But I don't know what's wrong with me. It's a thumping in my head, and my stomach's all like twisted and knotted. It's really bad. And I've just been feeling bad all day a bit, like, you know. So, yeah. I'll probably I'll probably will do a State of Decay video tomorrow, definitely. But then the Lula Sport video, I may have to miss out because I would like to. Depending on if I get worse, I would rather be close to home so I can rest and whatnot. If you know what I mean. So either way, this was my Adventurers League story, folks, and I hope you enjoyed. This is Wilf Ninja signing out. May the force be with you, and remember, roll for initiative.